Spotify Ambellion is now the first team ever in NAL to go undefeated during the regular season, and a big part of that is how well Ambi has been performing. He's currently the highest rated player in all of Pro League with a 1.40 rating. He has the highest KD with a plus 49, and statistically, he is the best entry in NA, going 19-9 or plus 10. So it should come at no surprise that today we are going to be looking into the match replay files and watching one of Ambi's most impressive games he's had this stage, where he drops a 20 bomb for the win against M80. All right, we're hopping into the game here. And Shopify on defense, Ambi playing Fenrir. Lots of trap operators here. Surf's also on the Legion, which is one of the best in slot operators. And I believe what got banned on defense here was the Clash and Tachanka. A lot of teams like to pair that smoke with the Tachanka up. I highly doubt Ambi's going to play Tachanka. He is a little bit more free on defense moving around. We see him already down here. They ended up taking Deimos off the board. A lot of teams will bring a Deimos through where he made those feet holes. So usually the normal entry for an operations lower lurk, someone's going to come through that range. He ends up boarding the door, making feet holes, which is going to obviously make it very, very difficult. And he's going to contest the rocket door entry. So again, this is more of an operations. There's two defaults on there. There's the operations, which is the bridge. He is more so stuffing the operations side. Early contest onto the Blackbeard. Probably wishing it wasn't a Blackbeard. And there is a cam on him, but he has absolutely no idea. And that's just good time waste from him, honestly. Even with the Deimos ban, or especially even with the Deimos ban. So he can't just get hunted from below. Probably expect M80 to bring something like a buck underneath. He could easily contest that with the Fenrir. And M80 does look like they're doing an operations attack. Shopify could play this one of two ways. They could try to stuff it, but with the operators that I'm seeing right here, I don't expect them to try to stuff it. I think they're going to play more so for the push-throughs and more so for the denial. But they still do have Legion on the rocket stairs. No reason to give it up yet. M80 not really doing that much pressure. Ambi just kind of playing this display tank position, where usually you see a Legion playing here, but they have a Legion on the main stairs, probably for shields. You see hot and cold on the blitz. Legion's going to be really difficult for that. Don't know if there was a call or some sound through the hatch, but almost an easy kill for Ambi onto the lurk, which is diffuser there. Absolutely, they know that it's going to be an operations take. So Ambi's going to take the smokes spot, Troy's spot, because Troy's going to be responsible for stopping the mask plant, which I can pause for just a second. But so M80, all they really want to do is open up this wall, which is double reinforced right now. Forget how to fly in this thing. Here we go. They want to open up this wall and try to go for a default plant. That's pretty much the default. If you, for whatever reason, can't get a default plant in this room somewhere, you go for a push through and go for kills down the bathroom hall tank side and start wrapping around. That's just like the default kind of theory on that default tack. So Ambi's going to hold the backside. He switches with Troy, so Troy is able to smoke that default plant. Rexon gets the opening kill. And not much happening from Ambi because I don't see anyone on M80 even thinking about flipping this. I think you see the flip a little bit more often, maybe in other regions, but in NA, I think it's a little more rare. I don't even know if I guess the door is open, because he is worried about it. Spoit's going to get one. M80's going to trade back. I'm sure Troy on the smoke is still throwing everything out there. A little bit of pressure on the outside mask wall. Why not? This is completely like free pressure. I believe in this round, Matt was trying to find a bomb spot. Troy was doing a good job smoking everything off. And Hot and Cold is going to eventually find this plant. Last smoke goes out, but he can't deny it. Ambi does see where the bomb's going down. Sees the cover. Takes down the bomb planter. And now it's a 1v1 for him. And at this point, it's I'm taking Ambi. I think in the stats, he's like 64%, 69%, something like that. That he will win the duel. I'm taking Ambi against almost anybody, including Gunner with the AK-12, one of the best weapons. Ambi coming in absolute clutch for this team, and I'm starting to see, what is this, Ambify Rebellion, right? Is that what it's called? I'm to the prep phase just a little bit because I don't know who really cares about the prep, but sure, you can see some Val cams thrown. One in the garage, depending on the defense. Looks like they're roaming, so they're probably giving up garage controls, so you're going to want a Val cam to be able to retake vision. That cam is going to be good for the same reason. If it's a garage take, they will have eyes on the outside door if anyone walks through it. Most teams, when they do a garage take, stick a attacker outside that door. And then lobby, why not? That's kind of the gap for the roam. And this is one of the cooler Shopify defenses that I've seen. You don't see Mira used too often on this bomb site, the lower bomb site, and they have a more of an aggressive mirror, so he is able to contest the range players, which usually, if an attack goes this way, it's like Ace and maybe one other, Ace and a shield, Ace and something else, and he's able to actually sit here on the mirror and contest, not let the Ace kind of walk in for free and take the space for free. So just a little bit of a switch up from Shopify, a little bit more aggro, and I do like it, especially on a player like Ambi. He's going to be able to get lots of kills off it. No real tell where the push is coming from at this point, so Ambi's just flicking cams. He's saying it's pretty quiet, but here we go. We do see the first gunfight going out for Ambi. Looks like M80 tried to counter that spot by dropping the hatch, because I think it was the day before this game was played, Shopify did end up playing this almost exact same defense, this Mira. So Ambi playing on that position. M80 almost looks like a little bit of a counter there to drop the buck, because he obviously is able to contest the Mira almost right away. So it looks like there was an attempt at like pulling his attention with range as Gaveni tries to just drop down the hatch. So he's waiting for the pull, drop down the hatch, go for the kill. Obviously, again, Ambi's winning again, 64% of his gunfights or whatever it is, his duels. Like he's just winning the ones more than anybody else in the league right now. He's going to take down Gav, and it's going to be a 3v3 lower. All right, so we see Shopify just trying to stay alive. It's a 3v3. We're probably going to see some top-down getting played out. We see Gunner with hard breaches. They're going to be trying to just kind of put pressure on any of the defending players. Ambi, still with the C4 in his pocket, is going to find an absolute huge kill, because if he doesn't get that, there's going to be way too much vert on them, and in a 3v3, the attack, in theory, should probably be able to get the plant down at the filter door if they're just relying on like C4 operators that are completely backed up. So that C4 kill, again, massive. It's now a 2v3. Pop the Goyo so they can't pressure through stock. And now they could just sit back. At this point, I guarantee the comms are just saying something like force plant. You have the man advantage. We just force plant at this point. One player has to be planting the bomb. We can find the other guy with the gun. We can find the gap, whatever it is. That is the win con. Kino's going to go for the bomb plant. We know we're planting, so we're going to go for a coordinated. Everyone going at the same time. Exactly how it should be done. You didn't see Ambi just rushing through immediately. All three players going at once. Coordinated retake. Bomb planter goes down. Diffuser playing possibly a little too backed up, but again, someone's going to have the gap. He's sitting there because they have the low rotate. He's trying to look through the low rotate. If you all go at once, he can't kill all of you. Boom. Very, very good round from Shopify. M80 is opening up the default wall, and if Shopify had any prep or you know, anything, probably expecting a green side ISO take. That's pretty much what NA does the most, which is usually just taking top of green stairs so you can't get flanked. You open up the default wall and you look for a plant in sight using the sense to block all the top down holes. They also have other operators to pressure like Glaz, and we see no Warden on board. So in theory, this is looking pretty good for M80. However, the first thing they have to do with this Ambi in sight, and as I say that, I might have remembered that he was about to die there. He does go down. So that's going to end up being, that's all for Ambi. We're not going to watch the rest of that round. But if I remember correctly, yeah, M80 gets the, eventually does end up getting the bomb down. They went for a really cool sense fake, and it ended up working. And was overall a good attack. But we're here for Ambi. We're here for Ambi. And Smoke got banned out. This was pointed out to me, and I totally did forget. Smoke does get banned here. So Smoke and Tachanka and Clash are now banned at this point, and we have to go back to the top floor. So normally this is not something you'll notice, but what as a defense, you have to start thinking, like, what are those good operators good for? Obviously, if M80 was to do the exact same plant, it would be very, very bad because they don't have that Smoke or Tachanka to help deny. So you need to do something a little bit differently and contest, or if they flip it to a bridge side take, there is no delay. Usually you're over there with like a Smoke and a Goyo, and you're delaying time and you're wasting time before you back up. Well, we're not seeing any of those. They're not bringing a Goyo, and again, you have no Smoke, you have no Tachanka. So Shopify has to do something a little bit different here. We're seeing Ambi this time instead of Fenrir. He's taking Valk, and he's going to be throwing a Valk cam underneath in Armory. This is going to contest, again, if they were to do the operations take and Gav is that underneath player, he would just usually come in from Sentry. He has a Valk cam. They have vision. They can go for any underneath powers. All of their Valk cams, though, all of their Valk cams are for the operations take. So their win con here is wasting time and delay, Troy on the Echo for more delay, and Ambi would, if they did an operation take, most likely flank underneath. He's got the Valcams underneath to see if anyone's sitting under there. He also has the Valcam for the default plant mask, so he's able to go for C4s and try to retake under. Because his Valcams are set for that play, he's actually going to start on the green side, because this way, as I was saying before, they have no way to waste time on the bridge takes. There's no Goyo, there's no smoke, there's no Tachanka. Those are the normal ways teams would waste time bridge side. So because of that, he's actually just going to play a little mini play here on the green stairs, which is one of the spots that doesn't get droned a lot, because most of the time drones are coming in from the bridge. This is usually how attack takes it. They'll open the bridge, they'll start droning across bridge, and they'll see if anyone's over here. And there should be someone over here shooting drones for Ambi. And green's kind of a little pocket. It's like a little rat spot where he's able to possibly contest kills. So we'll see Echo even just doing vision for him, right? They're going to shoot drones, use the Echo drones for the vision. He knows, though, someone could go underneath. Gav, when they're doing a bridge take, loves to just buck through the soft wall and go underneath. So he's watching for drones under. But again, no drones are seeing him here. This is a really good spot for him. Legion comes over, Surf, to play a little bit more aggro. Ambi probably calling that. I believe the bunks wall did end up getting bucked open. Yep, so he's calling that it's more so on this side, so Surf rotates over. And he's going to shoot drones for him. Boom. Bridge drones getting shot out. They know it's a bridge take now. Ambi still in a fantastic position. They don't quite know he's here yet. Shield, about to jump in the window. He has the C4 prepped and ready to go. Echo tries to go for the ace far back, and the nade comes out on him. He's going to give up his spot. Surf's going to fall, and obviously, like, unlucky. Surf goes down, but a really good little rat play that they like mixed in, and it did end up wasting a minute and a half. Like, bridge control is not M80s for free. It took him a long time. So W denial on that. Now he's just going to come back up to site. He has no C4, but that's okay. He's going to fill Surf's position, the Legion, which is playing the display area, this backside position. Gap for them kind of looks like it is operation side, but M80's not going to take any of that, because right now it looks like, if I believe, yeah, Troy's stuffing this, Rexon's stuffing this, Spoit's stuffing this. Like, there is a big gap on that operation side, but remember, he's Valk. He threw a Valcam over there. Surf's now dead. He can call that gap. They can play more together on this side and go for the stuff, because they don't have smoke again. They don't have Tachanka. There's no way to stop the default plant. Gunner's going to get another kill. And they ended up reinforcing off and battery tricking. But again, it shouldn't be that much denial. More so just a tiny little bit of time waste, because Gav's going to be able to get that with Buck. Ambi just trying to see if he's going to see Buck at all. But they know they have to stuff this, because, again, the default plant is just walk across, plant on the desk, right? That's the default. So Shopify almost out of answers here. They have to go for more aggressive hero plays, and he's just going to stuff the R6 for him. He's going to just walk in and be like, if you want to plant, you have to go through me, pretty much. Almost hits a really, really good shot onto Gunner. Knows someone's storage, but hey, why not take a 50-50 at this point? You have to. Ends up killing Diffuser. Probably a mistake on his point going for that kill. Gav goes down as well. They needed to sync up on killing this R6 player. Obviously very, very sloppy from M80 not doing that.
10 seconds left.
Rest of Ambi's teammates fall. And they know he's still on the R6 side, so this was smart from M80 to run to the other room before they go for the bomb plant. Actually a really good call. But Ambi hits the absolute pump fake onto Kino. Ends up killing Kino, and that's going to be the planner right there. And that's just the Ambi difference for Shopify right now. Is Ambi is one of the most clutch players for him. He does it all. He gets the entries, and in the late round, this is now 2 rounds that Ambi has won with the bomb down. All right, Shopify going back to the downstairs, and we're going to see Ambi on an operator that we'll see quite a lot of regions run, which is the Scopos. Believe we see Fury on this as well. Couple other teams like running the Scopos, just because, again, as you're roaming, and if there's a site hit, you can just TP back to site. So we're going to see Ambi. I believe he's going to play, yeah, he's going to play that top floor position. Just waste time, just shoot drones. If M80 wants to go for that same clear they did last time, he's just going to waste a little bit more time instead of playing in that archive position, which I believe now Spoit is playing in. The armory position, sorry. So drones do start to come in. Again, if I remember correctly, M80 do like to try to clear the top floor at least before they take half of the one side of the map. So M80 and Kino on Montagne now. They're going to start walking in Pebble's door and trying to clear Ambi. He's making... So that impact, he just yellow pinged. Really smart play from Ambi. He's calling Rexon to come over. Look and try to kill the Montagne. That's just going to be a very, very good stall factor. And again, you don't see Monty pushing him now. He's kind of backed off. Ambi finds himself onto the main stairs, the top floor room. He's not really getting contested too much, so he doesn't want to just sit up here and kind of bait. He has to see where his team is kind of needed. They know this player outside Rocket Stairs just shot at Troy, so he's going to come down onto the stairs and see if that guy's going to chase him. Not a bad idea. Most of the time, the flank watch is outside that front door, so it's not a bad player to try to get a pick on. Maybe 2v1 swing, something like that. They still haven't cleared him out top floor, which is very, very good. And the minute he gets droned, I'm sure he could just Scopos back to site at any time. That's why Scopos is such a good operator on this. At this point, he should know that they're going for a garage side take. Most of the players, I believe, are in garage and taking that side of the map. Yeah, we see the Montagne over here. So I'm sure and the walls are getting open. So his team probably communicating to him that, hey, they're doing a garage side take. And what is your job as the rumors? The garage side take? Well, usually there is a player posted outside screens. Or sometimes they even go in screens and they start to make top down in this room. Well, the only problem for that is there is a hatch here. So if you decide to go in there, you decide to go into the security room and make top down, and you're not Ram and you're playing an operator like, let's say, Buck, you are exposing yourself to the hatch if your team's not tracking the room correctly. So that's exactly what we're going to see right here. Buck's going to walk in and start making that top down. Ambi does a good job of preventing it by playing on the top floor hatch. Now he has the hatch control. Now this is very, very big because he has the top down control, they have to rush through site at this point. They can't just stall out. They'd have to either their decision making would have to be we either need to get Ambi off the top floor holes or we got a flood. They're gonna make a quick, because this is top of T1. They're gonna make a quick call. There's 37 seconds left. We're gonna go for a flood. So they try to push through. Ambi's gonna try to fly back to site to help with the push through. Ambi froze. Ambi froze, chat. All right, so at this point, again, with him getting the buck off the top floor control, they know as an attacker they either A, need to retake the vert, or B, need to go for a push through. I think this was 100% the right call by M80. They need to go for a push through at this point. They also do have a player in Rocket that can either contest the holes if need be. So they're going to go for that push through. Ambi knows they are going to go for the push through. His team's calling for help. Oh my god. Is this just where I just can't watch the VOD here? Oh my gosh. I got a corrupted match file? Fuck. Alright, Shopify, going back to bunks. I'm going to speed up the prep phase just because he's Castle, and he probably has the largest prep phase of all time. But anyways, Castle instead of mute this time in sight. And these castles are going to be for a green side ISO, or like a green side defense. So Shopify is switching their defense. Going to barricade the backside here. Shopify is switching their defense. You'll see a lot of teams do this as the second default on this site. If a team is showing that primarily they want to run those green side ISOs, as they call them, or like the bridge take, where we saw M80, I mean, I guess we didn't see M80 do it, but if you watch the game, M80 ends up just taking the green side, and they ended up winning. They opened outside wall, they took green, bottom green, boom, sense wall, glass, find a spot to plant. Cool. This defense is more of a counter to that, because you have Azami up. Azami is going to play the green stairs. He has castles for his gaps, right? His lower green door and his outside window. Azami's going to be able to play on the stairs again. Ella is going to be here in the hallway helping him with Ella traps on the Pebbles door, and for his bridge side, you'll see some teams play Goyo on this site too. Furia likes playing Goyo on the site, and even more time waste on the side, maybe even a smoke, but anyway, this is Shopify's version. And they still have the Warden in case, for whatever reason, there was a site hit. You still got the Warden above. So overall, a good switch for Shopify. Still setting up because that's his castle. If you know, you know. And it's always interesting to see that Ambi's the site player on this one. They just kind of elect to put someone more, I don't know, aggressive, I guess, instead of like a normal site player to play in site. It's a little bit more free moving. And it is a difficult spot to play site in this one. There's a lot of gaps you have to worry about. Right now, he's worried about someone pushing in his security, but once wall gets opened up, castles start getting opened up, his movement is definitely a lot less. You have to be very, very careful in sight. You're usually the target. M80, we can see the shield up top. Switch their take. They know they can't go into this default, right? That's holding green side, so they're going to go for more of a top take and try to clear the map. However, the problem for this one is that you see there's no, these claymores, no one has cans on this one. And I believe Shopify is not really actually roaming on that side of the map. Yeah, they double reinforce the security wall up. I believe there's a mute jammer on the other side. And the only thing they have to worry about is 2 door pushes. And then they have all the top down. And I'm pretty sure at this point, they probably know it. I mean, there's nothing else to even think about because the walls aren't opening. And maybe probably, again, a mistake in their lineup, not having cans, not really having any vert. They're hoping they're going to get picks, but they're not, like, they're just not coming to them at all. Ambi just has to hold his ground here. Like, this is super simple for Ambi. The only gap he has to worry about is, like, sure, those castles, but a zombie can worry that for him. Like, Spoy can hold that from lower green. The sight wall's not even open yet. Ambi just finds him spot a nice, safe place to play in sight. Calling for his top-down guys, like, hey, there's a Blackbeard here. They're trying to walk into sight. Gets one on Aquino. Playing a very good angle. That guy from the green door decided to go up green, ends up helping his teammate, and ends up killing Matt in the 1v... Well, I guess Matt was in the 1v5. Had to ADS. Ambi still in sight. Does a really good job of not giving his life for free, not over-peeking anything, playing off the guy, like being the bait so his top-down players can effectively just help him from vert. And overall, a really, really good defense from Shopify. We're going to see them switched on to attack. A little bit more exciting. Let's see where his drone is. If we watch all the spectating drones, love to see drone placements. That's probably one of my favorite things about match replay files. Maybe not super creative here, but the yellow drone hole makes a ton of sense if, and I believe he is, if you're the underneath lurker. I don't want to really expose all their drones, but usually, so they had 2 set up. Usually, if you're doing an operations take, you almost set up this triangle of drones, right? You have one around medic, you have one around yellow, and you may have one in like range. And between those 3, you can see all the movement of the defense, and you're able to lurk underneath. And I believe Ambi is their lurker on this one, even though he is Capitao. Trying to remember what got banned on them, because I believe he's usually Deimos or something. Looks like they're a little confused about what they're going to be doing at the beginning of the ground, because he's not super decisive about going underneath early. He does have EMPs, so I wonder if they were going to try to open up the wall and then just decided it's just not worth it. So now we see him going in underneath. Minute 50 seconds left. Again, someone could easily be checking those drones for him. They should have that triangle of drones, but very, very default to come in here and check all these spots. Sitting here waiting for the flank. If there was one, there goes a drone out in front of him. You see Troy droning everything, security, all for him. And from the bottom, with Capitao, usually how I've seen it used is if Troy wants to walk up the rocket stairs or they want to pressure anybody on the rocket stairs, there are those windows above basically my cursor. If Ambi was to look up, that you can shoot the Capitao fire. Feloplox likes to fire through there. That makes the guy back up. Exposed to the bathroom guys, he runs back, yada yada. They didn't need to though. MID is just going to give up rocket stair control for free, and this is like full util on Ambi. Like this is best case scenario, right? He's got the EMPs if they need to open the wall. He's got fires. He's got smokes. There's no warden up, so very, very good for Shopify at this point. They know Matt's playing close. End up killing him again. They probably could have just used a cap fire on him if need be. No one is dead yet, so Ambi has to watch flank. He's technically the bottom rocket player. Again, he's usually Deimos in this situation, so normally he is kind of like holding the flanks for them, playing the underneath lurk. He's using his fire on the desk plant, which is overall good if someone was playing there. Usually use a nade or some fire, and that's another free pick for the attackers, but ends up dying to the Goyo Vector because it's the best gun on defense and in the entire game. And if you know, you get 2. Going to the next round, Shopify wins that round. Troy finds a really, really good plant spot on that one. If you didn't watch that game, again, highly recommend you go check out the game if you haven't watched it in general. But here we're focused on Ambi. And Ambi are going to go back to top floor. Ambi's moving his drone. What is this telling me? Again, Ambi's the underneath lurker. If he puts his drone here, I'm going to assume it's because they want to do more of a bridge style take. But if I remember this round correctly, well, let's see. See him on the roar here, one of my favorite attacking ops. Goes pressure with the 417. Why not? They got 2 of them. All right, just sitting outside tank window. Looks like they possibly wanted to go fast with some sort of execute. We saw Monty over there, but could have roared off the door. Normally how you see roar here is boom, right there, roar off the R6 door. Now you'd be able to jump in and go for bathroom windows and stuff like that. I'm assuming this is a pool. Normally the defenses are kind of ready for this, and we actually got to see Troy and Glaz go through pebbles. They both ended up dying, but again, normally I think the defense is ready for something fast on this side. I think it was a good idea to maybe fake the pool. They still got the entries in, like, even though Canadian and Rexon ended up dying pebble side, Ambi and Surf were still able to find the gap on bathroom side. And overall, a really hard 3v4. At this point, they just need to find some picks. There's no real plan or execute or anything like that. They just have to work together and find some picks. And Warden goes down as he crosses, trying to get another pick. Again, hard round to win. We're ready to see some kills. We're ready to see some kills. Shopify having really good strats and ideas for the first couple rounds. Ended up getting one, losing one, and now back on, or for the first time, we're going to the basement. Ambi's going to play the Twitch here, using this bunks drone again to see if there's a little bit of a roam on the bunk side, see how heavy the roam is. He ends up going Twitch. I'm sure somebody called out that they do have a Goyo. Gunner's going to go for a spawn peek. All right, initial plan for Shopify here was they just wanted to kind of take, I believe, the normal default clear, which would have been archive side, but maybe because they lost Spoit, they're now doing a garage hit. Surf has nades. Okay, so Surf was able to nade off the Goyo fire over there. Rexon. Either way, Ambi's going to get droned in, looking for an early pick. This space is all given to them because M80 is doing more of a heavy roam. Usually people are not contesting garage in these cases. Ambi also has that cam and filter, so he knows if he can just kind of play for space. Setting up that cam for the dead player, Spoit. He's going to be flicking it for him, so he can just jump in and take the space filter. Troy opening the wall next to him. Sledge ready to hit stock because they already cleared the Goyo fire earlier in the round. And now here comes the Grims. And there's Ambi just trying to look for an entry as Shopify just tries to hit the site. Overall, kind of desperation. They just needed to go up tempo, maybe because they lost Spoit early, but they also didn't have anyone contest the top down holes. It's not like they were going to be able to go for a deep plan or anything, or a normal filter plan or anything like that. Just kind of need the picks. All right, we're on to the bunk site. Ambi going gridlock. I feel like almost his signature operator at this point. Whenever this guy goes gridlock, why do I feel like he's getting a 4K? Anyone else feel like that? Might be just like one of the best kits on attack. One of the best guns. It's got nades. It's got tracks that actually burn ADSs and things like that. And this is going to be Shopify's, their version of this green take. M80 is contesting it a little bit with the BP, but Ambi's got everything he needs. He's got nades. Interesting. So he's going to play it as outdoor green position. He's terrified of someone jumping out the window behind him. Ends up burning the gate. That's both his nades gone. They still got 2 tracks. I think they just needed his help trying to clear green. Like, M80 is contesting this heavy. They know if they give this control, Shopify has all the, like, everything that they need for this take. Diffuser probably a little bit just kind of feeling it. Like, at this point, again, M80 seemed, or I'm sorry, Shopify seemed completely stalled. That gave the opening that they needed. He's now able to walk into bridge. Gunner's now going to go down, and like, this is starting to look like a Shopify round. They just got the control they needed. Sets up the gridlock for the flank up top. And now he's going to watch it from green repel. I've seen this guy watch the flank from many spots, but normally, like for this take, you don't have to take much of top floor control. This take has been around for a while. It evolved with, like, it used to be a nomad would kind of push up to here and air jab the door, and then you would flash and get people off the vert and go for a contest at the same time as pebbles. But now it has turned into we don't need to do any of that. Especially because M80 is not running a Warden. There's no way to stop the plant if they plant in smoke or something like that. So nowadays, gridlocks just hold the flank. They just tracks it. They'll either play at the end of the hall on bridge, maybe play off a cam, but Ambi's playing outside the green window, which is really good if you think about his tracks placements, right? Because he obviously has these tracks for the flank if he was getting flanked bridge side, and he would have a tell if they're coming from the right of his window. But he also threw those outside tracks on the window, which is going to protect him when he's repelled on this green repel. So at this point, it's very, very easy. Troy's just got to find a plant spot. Smoke himself, go for a plant. We see him rotating to bottom because you still have Rexon on the Grim upstairs, and I believe we lost Surf, which was one of the operators that were already downstairs. So Ambi is in what's called like a fill position. He's able to just kind of fill his spot. They still need to kill the site player. He comes down, and of course, what is it? 64, 69%, whatever it is, dual win rate. Like, Ambi's going to win that any day of the week. Player in sight dealt with. Gets back on his rappel. Psych. No, he doesn't. He's going to protect the plant. Bomb going down. Troy smokes and gets the triple kill. Knows that the player is going to have to drop hatch to go and stop it. Ambi was all over the place as Gridlock on that one. My God. All right, this was the last round, and we're going to speed up. Let's see where his drone is. He's just been leaving it in kind of drone holes just for info. This map, also, by the way, like I think most of the spectating videos have been done on Bank recently. And Bank's a very easy map for like zones of drones. And knowing, like, hey, there should always be a lobby cam, there should always be an open area cam. There's a little bit different. A lot of time you need to sack your drone to figure out what the operators are, but Ambi's obviously using himself for his lurks. It's usually a good indicator of where he's going to go on the map. There's the ghost pressure again, so you never really know what side they're going on. He's got the 417 again. Again, he got here a little bit differently than he did in the other round, where it's really important to like mix it up in general, but he is the rocket stairs player. It is his job to be down here. We saw him earlier with Capital where he lurked into range. That was just one way to get in here. Now we are seeing him just be outside the rocket door. Again, just good to kind of mix it up. He uses his nade to get the barbed wire off. That's going to create the gap for him to walk up rocket stairs if and when needed. Flores drone gets the Goyo fire. That's off a little bit higher, and he's just going to set up his cams waiting for M80 if they decide to flank. Looking at his team through the wall, so he kind of knows when to use the lion charge. That was really good by him. And at this point, SR has everything they need. This operations tech usually is just open up the wall, go for a plant. M80 does have 2 smokes and fires, though, so they should be able to stop the plant. Ambi here is just playing protect. Ended up losing a fight earlier here. Now, see if anything differently. Looking at the flank when Troy's there. Interesting. Almost dies to a C4. He's actually literally 1 HP. That probably could have been massive for M80. So again, his job is holding the flank primarily, even though he came up the rocket stairs for this operation's sake. And you can just see, just because probably very confusing, like why is he just holding it? 5 people are alive, and they have a drone, but he's not just going to sit on it. So him sitting here is helping Flores. If anyone was to get aggressive down the hallway, he'd be able to swing and help the Flores, right? So Flores is holding bathroom hall. He's actually holding rocket stair flank. And then the other 3 players are going to be putting pressure and trying to go for a plant. So smokes are coming out. Troy's trying to find anywhere he can try to get the bomb down. Ace and Spoit on Striker are going to be trying to just help him get the bomb down. So again, he's playing the flank watch position technically for the team on this take. Heard shots getting fired out. Thought maybe Flores needed help. Went and checked it. And at this point, he's just going to take a gamble. Let's just assume they're not going to flank. They need a little bit of help. Maybe Troy's also calming, like, hey, we need to maybe kind of push through or do something a little bit differently to get this plant down. And he's coming over to play more aggressively. He knows he died from that angle earlier in the round. Now he's going to get the kill. He's going to get 1. He's going to get 2. And the round is just on Gunner. And he knows he's coming back from bridge side because they have that drone set up earlier in the round. And that is going to be his 2nd triple kill, I believe, in a row. Last 2 rounds, super clean from Ambi, and that is going to be his 20 bomb. I don't want to say he carried Shopify, but Amplify Rebellion is in full force. This guy is, I mean, literally the #1 rated player in NAL for a reason. And yeah, I hope you guys learned a thing or two from watching Ambi, the best fragger in the world, perhaps. Definitely NA, but maybe the world? Debate that in the comments below. Let me know who else you'd like to see as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.